Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're installing brand new brakes on the road bike and see if they make any kind of difference on it. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure that little bell icon next to that is checked off. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So we are back on the road bike today and we're installing new brakes on it. And you might wonder, what's wrong with the brakes on there? That's a very good question. I don't really know. So that's one thing I've never changed on a single road bike is the brakes on it. And that's because to me, a basic brake like this looks exactly the same as a brake like this. To me, looking at these two, it doesn't mean it's gonna make any kind of difference at all. So that's where my problem comes in. If you look like a mountain bike, you upgraded your brakes, it's nearly pretty obvious that you upgraded your brakes and that they're gonna do better. Road bikes, I mean, not so much, right? Not so much with the road bike brakes. So that's what we're doing. We are swapping out these old set of Pro Max. These ones are the Pro Max RC459s that, I don't know, we're so basic. That Trek didn't want to say they were Pro Max on the website, but they are a Pro Max brake. Then we are swapping out a brand new set of Shimano Tiagras, which are the newest generation of them. And I think these are gonna look pretty sick on this bike. So we're gonna get right on into taking the front brake off of this, getting our new one installed and all adjusted properly, and then we'll test and see if there is any kind of difference between what was on there before the Pro Maxes and our new Tiagras. Okay, so road brake brakes are very simple. So road brake brakes, essentially there's a couple adjustments you can make on these. So of course you have your cable retention screw right here, which is actually on my new ones already. And then you have a bolt right up here, which is your adjustment of how much each side is tension. And then you might wonder, how do you get this thing off of your bike? And that is very simple. So right on the back of either your fork or your rear bridge on the back, there's going to be a bolt that goes right through your fork. And if I can find it right here, there we go. You just go ahead and use a 5mm as the common size, and you just go ahead and you loosen it. And pretty much all it does is go right through the front of your fork, and all that does is go right through the top of your fork. And once you have it cracked loose, most of the time you can just, there we go, start going from there. Till you're all the way out just like that, and hopefully the other side would have come out, but it didn't. This at least has grease on it, I guess. And if we kind of pop that in the side, there is what you're undoing right there. That's pretty much what holds your brake caliper on the front. So, in my case, I'm gonna get a paper towel and kind of clean that up a little bit. And I have these little star washers here that are made to grip onto the fork and make sure the brake doesn't spin. So I need to make sure I save those because I'm going to need them on the new brakes. I've already tested the rear and I do need these. Alright, so once you have your old brake off, you're gonna get your new brake right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this so we can get to the actual bolt here. Don't drop it like I just did. Okay, we're gonna throw that in there, and we'll throw our little star washer right on there. So we're just gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna stick your bolt, so you're gonna stick your brake caliper right back in there. Get your nut on the other side. Maybe. There it goes. Okay, this one's a tight fit on this bike. There we go. And we're just gonna start screwing it on. Make sure it's getting the threads. You don't want to strip anything out. I couldn't imagine that. If you stripped a bolt in here and trying to get out your brake caliper out of your carbon fork, woo! Doesn't sound like fun. Don't do that. And you kind of want, what you want to do, you want to kind of center your brake. Actually, that's about center right there. You want to center your brake roughly on your wheel. Of course, with your pads on here, I'm going to need to adjust it a little bit later. But once you have that all tight, we're going to just go ahead, crank this guy down the rest of the way so it's nice and tight on here, because this is actually going to adjust your position of the brake. So if you tighten this to the left more, to the right more, it would tighten to the right more, tighten to the left, it would lean into the left. So this is actually how you would go ahead and move your brake side to side. Should be a pretty happy place there. So we got that all set. From there, I'm going to go ahead and you grab a 4mm Allen key. That's what most road bike pads are going to be. And we're going to go ahead and loosen up the pad on the back. So we'll loosen that little nut up. Actually, I think it's a bolt on these. There's that little bolt up on these, and we're going to try and line that pad up with the wheel on the bike. Generally, you're gonna have the pointed side down. In my case, it does not want to work that way. So if you can, do it that way. I'm doing the other way for the sake of getting it to work with my bike. So I'll kind of get that set on there. Cool, that one's all tight, and then we just do the same for this side over here. So we're gonna loosen this same bolt up here. Luckily these were not all the way down. So we're gonna loosen that up, roll it all the way down to the bottom, And we're just gonna try and get that one to kind of line up as well. That one seemed like it was a bit easier. How's that look? Actually looks pretty good. Okay. From there we just tighten this guy down. So there's those guys all set. And then we start working on our cable. So we're gonna grab our cable right up here, and first thing you wanna do is make sure everything is seated like it's supposed to be. So you wanna make sure your nut right in the end there. So if I can show you, your nut right there at the end is actually seated into where it's supposed to be. Your housing is seated where it needs to be. And you have, of course, your little end on there as well, the housing end. Now we're gonna go ahead and just slip our cable right through our little adjuster, just like that. And then your bolt for the cable is going to be a 5mm. So we're just going to loosen it up. You don't need to take it all the way out. Just need to loosen it up. There it goes. All right. So we just need that little base plate there to move, and you're going to slide your cable. And you'll actually see there's a little slot in there for your cable to slide through. So I'm just going to find that little slot, slide it right on through, just like so. And we are just about done with this. So from here, so what we're going to do, we're going to squeeze our brake all the way together as tight as it can go against the wheel. We're going to pull our brake cable across to the other side so we can kind of hold that on with one hand. So you're holding the brakes as tight as they can close. You have your cable pulled all the way to the right so you're keeping the table tight. And then we're going to go ahead, drop our tool. No, I'm just kidding. Don't drop your tool. We're going to go ahead and tighten up our bolt right here. And what I like to do is actually leave our brake in the unlocked position so it is open. What that's going to do is when you tighten, that's actually going to put more cable tension on the cable, which is what you want at this point. All right, so there we go. So you can see right now, our brake is pretty much touching the wheel, right? So what we can do, we tighten our thing up there. Our wheel no longer moves, right? It's super tight. What you're gonna do is then grab your brake lever, the one that goes to that, and you're just gonna squeeze that guy as hard as you can. And what that's gonna do is essentially give that cable its initial stretch, is what that's going to do. Once you have it tight all the way, so if you have that cable tight all the way, and you do that, your brake should sound just like that, nice and smooth going through there. Perfect, all right. I love it. And when you pull your brake lever, it's on like a trigger. That is a tight brake. So it's going to get rid of most of that initial stretch on the cable. You also have to come through after a little bit of riding because it's going to get loose. That cable's going to stretch a little bit more. That's going to get rid of most of that initial stretch. From there, all you got to do is go ahead and cut your cable to length. I generally go about the size of the caliper right down to the end of the brake pad. Cut it right there, stick your end cap on, and you will be set to go with your new brakes. So in the stand, these brakes feel amazing. I can't believe it. These feel so much better than the old ones did. And the old ones were in adjustment too. These feel so good. But it's one thing to say they feel good in the stand. It's a different to say they feel good while we're out riding. So let's take this out for a ride and see how they feel. Alright, so I finally had a chance to get out and give this bike a good little test ride and try everything out on the bike and see what I thought. Now I'll start off by saying, yeah, we changed a lot of stuff on this bike in a short period of time, so there's a lot of stuff different about it, but we're going to talk about just the brakes right now. So, just the brakes on that bike, I don't know if I could say they're better. I don't know if I could say they're really that much better than just these basic Pro Max brakes we took off of the bike. I wish I could say they're better. They might feel a little better, might feel a little stiffer. So I can say the brakes lock up a little bit better than they used to. That could be new pads, honestly, because these pads are kind of done. That could be a lot of things, but actual brakes themselves, I don't know whether they make that big of a difference to me. At this point, for just a short-term swap and review, I would say if you're looking to upgrade your road bike and you're looking at brakes, I don't know if that's really going to make much of a difference to you. You know, if you are consistently bombing hills, it might make more difference to you, but at least my very short-term review is keep the brakes you have on your road bike. As of right now, I don't feel like those brakes make much of a difference. I will give a long-term review. I want to give a long-term review on this whole bike and this whole process we went through rebuilding this thing, but for right now, I don't feel like those brakes make that big of a difference. Especially for if you were to buy those new, I don't feel like that's worth your money to actually go out, buy new brakes and install them on your bike. You're not really going to get the best. You're not really going to get a good bang for your buck, in my opinion, right now. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And we will see you in the next video. And of course, for a long-term review on these brakes.